They are turning up the heat, y'all, and they're not even trying to be slick about it. Over the last few weeks, if you have not noticed the hyper, and I mean hyper focus on generating some type of genuine anger from our community, whether it be on social media or in real life, I'm trying to let you know right now, you should be paying attention to that. All of a sudden, these voices on social media are coming to the forefront. The young man saying that he wouldn't follow Harriet Tubman if she tried to free him. All the conservatives who were debating on Jubilee, which I always think has had a negative impact on these conversations. PragerU trying to tell everybody that slavery was not that bad. You know, you shouldn't be so worked up about slavery. The Smithsonian, the crackdown on crime in Washington, D.C. with the military. There is a hyper focus on getting us involved. I hope you guys can see this. I'm not trying to be crazy. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. I'm not trying to fearmonger. Look at what's going on. It has really turned up over the last month. But I'm letting y'all know right now, okay? I ain't getting out this robe. We already know Kevin Roberts and the project named after this year has been studying our resistance and looking for any way to get under our skin. We already know what is happening. But for those of you who may not be aware, look to your community, all right? Look to the people who are around you, because we are going to keep putting our energy back into us. Like I said before, I ain't getting out of this robe for nothing.
I don't feel like I would have followed Harriet Tubman.
Why?
Simply because, for one, I don't know your conversion rate.
What do you mean you wouldn't join Harriet Tubman? She would have had to haggle with you for your freedom? It's not enough that she risked her life to come back and try to save you, but now she needs to go over conversion rates and percentages and market herself so that you can give her the privilege of escorting you to freedom? Then he went on to say that he'd just do his job, and in doing so would avoid being beat. My brother in Christ, the beatings come with the enslavement. You can't separate the two. You act like the plantation is ran like a modern Fortune 500 company. You're acting like you can dodge the beatings like an office worker can dodge a write-up. It doesn't work like that. You sound like the type to try to work your way up the plantation ladder. You want to be a mid-level manager so bad. You wouldn't even make it into the house. You're not even light-skinned. I would have been had my tattered shirts and overalls packed and ready to go. I'm taking my chances.
Comparing Chinese people who are immigrants that made a choice to come to the United States and comparing the continued effort of Black people to ground themselves in a nation that continues to make impediments for them to show and live and exist in their true citizenship is a false equivalency.
I don't believe that happens at all. No one here is in.
Are you acting right now?
There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. Only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people.
Do you know what the statement Black Lives Matter is actually stating?
Yeah, well, just started off from George Floyd.
Start off from Mike Brown. Oh, what's that on your chain?
This is a coin from Israel.
Lord have mercy. One of these museums that they cited was that there was a display that speaks about race not as a biological thing, but as something that has just been created as a social construct. And he stated that that is an incorrect expression of race, that race is biological.
But it is biological.
Being taken as a slave is better than being killed, no?
The clip you just watched is from a conservative educational platform called PragerU, and the reason we can't just dismiss it is because the Florida Department of Education just approved PragerU as a supplemental curriculum for students. PragerU describes itself as an alternative to the dominant left-wing ideology and also really likes to downplay the horrors of slavery.
I'm certainly not okay with slavery, but the Founding Fathers made a compromise to achieve something great.
If you're wondering, yes, that is supposed to be Frederick Douglass. The implication here is that we shouldn't feel that bad about slavery because it was normal at the time, but that's actually one of the main points of education. We as a society should come to terms with our past so that horrible things are never normalized again. And in an educational system that already wants to argue that there were cool perks to being a slave, adding PragerU to the classroom is a total disservice to students.
We want the museums to talk about the history of our country in a fair manner, not in a woke manner or in a racist manner, which is what many of them, not all of them, but many of them are doing. Our museums have an obligation to represent what happened in our country over the years, good and bad, but what happened over the years in an accurate way.
The idea that the Smithsonian, which was created as an independent entity, should reflect any administration's vision of history and not the vision of the historians and the researchers and the other people who devote their lives to studying these things is more than problematic, I would say. So it's not a shock because we can see what's happening in other arenas, but it is something that's a departure from what should be expected, what is right, actually.
What is it that's excessive regarding slavery in the Smithsonian?
What goes overboard broadly, I have not done a tour of all the Smithsonian museums in the last 3 or 4 years, but I actually have been somewhat recently. And what goes overboard is what goes overboard in the colleges and the universities and even in the pop culture. And you saw this broadly in the last 5 years. White fragility, the constant race hustling, the hucksterism, the race to dinner. Do you guys really believe that in America today, one of our big problems is we don't talk about slavery and all of America's sins enough? No, of course not. You know, even on the point of slavery.
But Michael, it's not about talking about it. It's about teaching people about it, right? So what's wrong?
Don't you think people have been taught?
What's wrong? So I'm sorry. So we don't teach history in this country anymore.
No, we don't teach history.
And slavery is part of that history.
We don't teach history. No, we teach a very partial view of history. That this is Trump's point. We teach a very partial view of history that America's evil and terrible to black people and women and minorities and everybody else. But that's not the whole story of America. And this is why
the whole story. Of course, it's not the whole. Nobody is saying it is the whole story, Michael. But it is part of the story. It is part of the story that deserves to be told. That's why to have the president saying that it should not be told, and we should just stop teaching it now because we've taught it for 20 years, so we don't need to teach it anymore.
He never said that we shouldn't stop.
Hey, we right here playing basketball, y'all. Look. Hey, look, y'all. We can't even play basketball, y'all. Look, y'all. We can't even play basketball, y'all. Look, where you going? Come here. Everybody, come here. Don't turn around. Do not turn around. Y'all looking at people cars that been right here. Y'all looking dumb as shit. Don't look. We can't even play basketball, y'all. This shit is crazy, bro. Man, get the fuck on. I ain't trying to hear that shit. Shut the fuck up. Hey, we can't even play basketball, bro. This shit is crazy, bro. Oh, nah, Vin Diesel. Oh, nah, we got, hey, y'all. Look at Vin Diesel, y'all. We got Vin Diesel, man. Hey, look at Vin Diesel, y'all. Hey, they got Fast and Furious. Hey, fuck it's Fast and Furious 15. Hey, nah, come on, y'all. Come on, we can't play basketball, y'all. We breaking the law. Is we breaking the law right now? Is we breaking the law? Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. I just want to go around. I'm fuck it. I'm going out the gate. I'm going. Why y'all turn around? Don't turn around. Y'all can get on the camera, dude. Y'all can get on the camera. Y'all can get on the camera though. It's nothing wrong with this. Y'all recording? All right then. I'm gonna be on y'all site. I'm gonna be all on y'all and y'all turn all that shit y'all got going on. Y'all gonna be looking at me. I just want to see if I can see y'all. All right then. All right, fuck all that. I ain't even want to talk no more. I hope y'all have a good night too. Yeah, man. I just wanted to play some basketball. All I want to do is play basketball, bro. You want to check up? Check up. Take that motherfucking vest off and check up. That's all I want to do. You hear me? That's all I want to do is play some basketball. I know you saw me the other day. You was looking good as shit. I was on you. Yeah, I was on you the other day. I remember you with that New York hat on. You from New York. I was on you. I remember you too. No, I'm not. Oh, no, you looking good too. Yeah, you looking good. You wearing the shit out them pants right now. I see you, twin. I see you. Go ahead, man. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man.
I told you that the president of the Heritage Foundation, the group behind Project 2025, not only does he have, master's, a doctorate, was a professor, and studied deeply studied American history, but his thesis was on slavery and the African American family. Project 2025 doesn't directly name African American people as targets. Like the racism that comes from it as a result of its actions is not specifically named. The attackers are not specifically named. But there is no doubt that the people who have organized Project 2025 and are checking off the checklist of it, the goals of it, know the impact that it'll have on communities of color.
The architect of Project 2025 and the president of the Heritage Foundation wrote his master's thesis and his dissertation on slavery. You heard me. The current president of the Heritage Foundation and the architect of Project 2025 wrote both his master's thesis and his dissertation on slavery. And this is not something that's hidden. This information came out about a year ago, and you can still find his master's thesis as well as his dissertation online. From the article written by Samuel Friedman, we learned how Roberts learned and discussed the many ways Black folks, quote, asserted whatever small or brief agency was obtainable, from seeking baptism from the church to rising in armed rebellion to even through our music, dances, and songs. This man not only learned about, he also wrote about at length Black resistance traditions starting back with human trafficking, which tells me a bunch of things. If the person at the helm of one of the most horrific and harmful policy applied to the American population has a wealth of knowledge about slavery and its impact upon people and their resistance traditions, what's the excuse for everybody else? If folks like this can take that knowledge and weaponize it into literal harmful policy, what's the excuse for other folks? If people like this can take the knowledge that he learned from state-sponsored human trafficking and create devastating impact on marginalized communities, what's the excuse for other people not learning about one of the most harmful and detrimental practices in modern history, and then using that knowledge for good, using that knowledge to combat systems, using that knowledge to break down oppressive structures, using that knowledge to see how we got to where we are, and then making repair for where we need to go? At this point, there's no excuse. If folks like Kevin Roberts can turn our stories, our centuries worth of stories of surviving human trafficking into something like Project 2025, who's to say that we can't? Who is to say that we can't take our own stories? For those who don't come from a legacy of enslaved people, who's to say that you can't learn those stories and turn it into something good? Because right now, there ain't no excuse.
Back waiting on a Messiah. They're waiting on that one person.
But they are too, though.
Who's that?
The other side is far more diligent about looking for that Messiah than we are, because they know where to look. You probably wonder, why do white people pay so much attention to Black people if they don't like them? You would think if you didn't like something, why would you be paying attention to it? I don't pay attention to things I don't like.
What's the answer?
The answer is the liar knows what lie he told. You see what I'm saying? So even if I made it deceitful and I made you think that the answer is over here, but the answer is really over here, I'm still going to be looking over here. Me, the one that tricked, because I know this is the right answer. People have lost their identity, but our oppressors have not lost our identity.